Hey folks, Jason here with another quick drum set instructional video. This one we're going to focus on money beat variations on the hi-hat to strengthen the non-dominant hand. Real quick to review what a money beat is, and there's 1,000 videos on YouTube for this, but it's essentially quarter note in the kick drum, backbeat on 2 and 4 in the snare drum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 8 notes on the hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Pretty straightforward. Now in this video I'm going to show you 3 different rhythmic levels for the hi-hat part on the money beat, right? And then I'm going to show you how to strengthen your non-dominant hand using these in the context of the beat. So let's dive right in. First and foremost, we've got just the basic 8th note pattern. This is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Just a steady stream of 8th notes leading with one hand. Now most drummers I work with use their dominant hand. The overwhelming majority of the students I teach, their dominant hand is the right hand. Same for me, so I'm going to be using right as the dominant hand in this video. And I'll say, okay, play a money beat for me, maybe on their first lesson. And so they say, okay. And usually it's pretty solid. But then I say, can you do the same thing but doing the hi-hat part with the left hand? And just being able to do this, most students fall apart. It's very rare that I've had a student come in who can do both. And I think this points to the fact that a lot of times when we learn drum set patterns, we tend to always practice leading with our dominant hand, right? So throughout this video, all the rhythms I'm going to show you, we're going to focus on not just leading with the dominant hand, but the non-dominant hand. So the first exercise I recommend is doing just on a practice pad or the hi-hat with a metronome, 8 in each hand of the 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that way your non-dominant hand is getting the same workout as your dominant hand. Right? When you feel good about that, add in the kick drum on all 4 beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When you feel good about that, add the backbeat in on the snare. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and switch. Notice how where the hand placement is on the hi-hat and snare changes, so just work on that transition. Okay, so that's the first of the 3 rhythmic variations we're going to do for the hi-hat. That's probably the easiest because you're just thinking about one hand on the hi-hat the entire time. But the next 2 variations I'm going to show you have some transitions between the hi-hat and snare, so I'm going to start with the hi-hat alone and then show you movement to the snare, and then we'll add in the kick. So if you're playing along, first count this rhythm with me. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. That's 2 16th notes followed by an 8th note. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Right? First practice just vocalizing this rhythm with a metronome doing a steady stream of 16th notes. So imagine your metronome is doing 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Vocalize that rhythm. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, right? Now don't accent necessarily, I'm just doing that so you can hear the beat. When you feel good about that, we're going to do that rhythm with an alternating sticking. Now we're going to do it, it's not a true alternating sticking because anytime we get to beats 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to land with our dominant hand. So 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. That's right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. Do that for like a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however long you need to get that really solid. When you feel good about that, do the same exact thing but leading with your non-dominant hand. We're going to call this a left hand lead sticking because most of the notes that fall in the main beats, the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in this 16th note grid are with the left hand. It's only the E that falls on my dominant hand. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left. Right now when you feel good about that, add in the snare drum. We're going to go back to our dominant hand doing the lead sticking. Right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. And now we're going to add in the snare on beats 2 and 4. Same exact sticking pattern, same exact rhythm. We're just moving to the snare. Make sure that you don't freeze up on the hi-hat and wait till the last second to move to the snare. Make sure that you're moving to the snare as soon as your right hand is done on the hi-hat. Almost imagine it as a lateral sweeping motion, or some people prefer to think about it as a lifting and then moving to the next surface. I've heard described to me as you're jumping from one trampoline to the next and then back to the first trampoline. Together in slow motion, if you got your sticks, play this with me on the hi-hat and snare. 1 E and a 2 E and a, very slow, dominant hand. Right, left, right, right, left, right. Good. When you feel good about that, do the same thing, but we're going to do it with our left hand moving to the snare. Playing along with me, snare and hi-hat, you're going to use your non-dominant hand now. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Right? Do that several times, right, with a metronome. Before we add in the kick drum. So if you're ready, go ahead and play along with me. We're doing kick drum doing quarter notes, just like we would do for a standard money beat. 2 and 4 on the snare like we just did, and that hi-hat rhythm. I'll count us in. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, here we go. This is with the dominant hand. Now we're going to do it with the non-dominant hand. Same rhythm, same sticking. Left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left. Now once you've done the right hand lead sticking and the left hand lead sticking separately, put them together back to back. So we're going to do one set with the dominant hand lead sticking, right, left, right, right, left, right, and then immediately switch to the non-dominant hand. Together, 2, here we go. Right, left, right. Switch. And just loop that over and over and over again. Okay, so now we come to our third hi-hat variation. This is going to be an eighth followed by 2 16ths. So 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, right? Make sure that you do this leading with your dominant hand first just to get the rhythm. So since I'm right-handed for my dominant hand, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. When you feel good about that, do just the left hand several times by itself. Left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Right, so what I'm going to do now is add in the snare drum. No kick yet. Notice I'm keeping the same sticking. I'm just moving on beat 2 and 4 to the snare drum. We'll start with the dominant hand first. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Same thing, but we're going to do the sticking of left hand lead sticking. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Now we're going to do each of those like we just did with a hi-hat and snare, but adding in the kick drum. So if you're ready, let's go ahead. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Now we're going to do the non-dominant hand, in my case left hand. Same thing. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and a. Same rhythm, just left hand leads the way instead of the right hand. Now what we're going to do is put those both together, right? So we're going to do one measure of right hand lead sticking, one measure of left hand lead sticking with no break in between. I'm going to do all 3 limbs together, but I recommend starting out with just the snare and hi-hat first, or just the hi-hat and kick, and then add in all 3 parts when you're ready. I'm going to let this flow for a bit so you get a chance to practice with it. 1 E and a 2 E and a dominant hand first. switch, 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 switch. Right? So spend some time just doing that by itself slowly. Now the final part of this exercise is being able to do all three of those hi-hat rhythmic variations. Again, just to review, steady eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, with either the dominant hand or the non-dominant hand. The second rhythm, the 2/16 eighths, 1E and, 2E and, 3E and, 4E and, being able to do that with the dominant hand and then switch to the non-dominant hand. And then our last or third rhythm for this particular exercise, eighth followed by 2/16. Again, dominant hand starts, 1 and a 2 and a 3, 4 and a, and then we're going to switch to the non-dominant hand. Right, I'm going to go very slowly and do this a few times. I encourage you to play along, and again, if you're having trouble getting all three elements, the hi-hat, snare, and kick together, I recommend just focusing on just the hi-hat and snare or just the hi-hat and kick. If you're still having difficulty with that, focus on just the sticking transitions in the hi-hat. Here we go, very slowly. I'm going to start with my dominant hand and do 2 measures with the dominant hand and then 2 measures with the non-dominant hand, 1 time for each rhythm. 1E and a 2, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again. I'm going to switch to my non-dominant hand. Now we're going to go to rhythm number 2, starting with the dominant hand. Now I'm going to go to my non-dominant hand. Rhythm number 3. Non-dominant. Back to the rhythm number 1. Just the steady eighth notes. So on and so forth, right? So if you want to, I recommend looping that part of the video over and over and over again, and then gradually speed up this routine. That's what I played at the beginning of the video. If you can do that exercise, you'll be amazed at how it's going to lead to things like open-handed drumming, where you can go ahead and keep an ostinato with the left hand and then have melodic freedom with your right hand around the rest of the kit. And it's also just going to strengthen your overall coordination as a drummer. If you'd like a PDF of these exercises to see them in notation, I've put my email in the description box below. Please feel free to email me and I will gladly send you this exercise in notation. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.